driving instructor. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and answer these questions. I want to go through them quickly. What do I do if I get a flat tire on the freeway? You want to try to get over to the right as soon as possible. Don't panic. You want to make sure you have control of your car. You turn on your four-way flashers. This means your front flashers will flash, your rear flashers. So cars see you and they know something is wrong and they won't just like run you over and bump you off the road. The biggest thing is don't panic. Even if you're in the middle lane or left lane, try not to panic. You will panic, and get the car all the way off. And really, it's advisable not even to try to fix a flat tire on the expressway because the danger of getting hit is really great. The state police suggests that you call a towing company or your parent or guardian to come and get you, because if you're not familiar with learning how to change a tire, you could get hit by oncoming traffic and it's really dangerous. But you still need to know how to change a tire. Is insurance 100% required? Yes. In our state, insurance is required. If Samantha, let's pretend Samantha, you hit someone, insurance is required to show you have the financial capabilities to pay. Okay? And Michigan is a no-fault state. This means that there's minimum coverage some drivers have. If you have a 2024, a 2022, a 2021, they're more expensive cars. You want to have full coverage. Full coverage means that you pay a deductible. Could be a $500 deductible, a $1,000 deductible. A deductible is the money you pay before your car gets repaired. So if you have a $1,000 deductible, your monthly payment will be lower. But you got to remember, I'm talking to teens. You don't have $1,000. You don't have $500. So you're going to be driving mom and dad's car. You're going to be on as a carrier on the insurance. Most of your parents drive leased vehicles. They require full coverage because the lease could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The leasing company requires full coverage insurance. If you know Jake from State Farm, raise your hand. Jake from State Farm, come on. All of you should know him. Okay, so State Farm uses Jake. They use the quarterback from the Kansas City Chiefs, Geico, the little lizard. So you have to have insurance here in our state, and it protects you if maybe you had a seizure. Let's pretend Michael had a seizure. He had a seizure. He hit a building. Well, your insurance will cover the damage from the building, the damage from your car, and your medical bills. So now you understand how important insurance is. But some people don't have insurance. So I need you to understand that, and that makes all of our insurance rates go up. I love it. Okay? I want to continue. Give me 1 second. Great question. How are people that are legally blind able to drive? They can still see. A little bit. Okay? If you can meet the minimum standards, and I drove a young lady about 14 years ago who was blind. She had the little binoculars in her glasses. She still could see, but just barely. She met the requirement to almost be legally blind. So this means she could drive only during the day. She can't drive at night. So that's how people, if they can show that they can see, they have a medical form from their ophthalmologist, that is your eye doctor. So it's real. It's difficult to make sharp turns. Yes, you will crash. You don't want to make sharp turns because a sharp turn means you're going to have to really crank the wheel. And if you crank the wheel, you will crash. So as an instructor, I don't like the word sharp turns. This means we will sharp crash. I want a controlled turn. I want good speed going in, turning hand over hand into the turn, hand over hand out. Remember, you're beginning drivers. You're new. My job is to teach you, to coach you, to get you ready. This is why I love driver's ed, because I get a chance to teach you those fundamentals, and make you a good driver. And then I'll see you in 3 months for segment 2. What do you do when someone is tailgating you? You maintain speed. You might want to pull your car to the right side of the lane. Eventually, the tailgater will back off of you and change lanes. Don't put yourself in danger because another driver is tailgating you. You are welcome. I really appreciate you. What is usually the easiest and hardest thing to do for new drivers? Everything. Because you panic, you get overloaded, night driving is difficult, merging on the freeway, left turns, roundabouts. So I call it gradual exposure. You need to take your time, take on one event at a time. Beginning drivers do a lot of light driving, meaning you drive in your neighborhood. You drive from school home. You drive from your home to your friend's house. You don't go on the expressway yet. You don't go on roundabouts yet. You don't go to downtown areas yet because you are scared to, because you don't have the experience. So all of those things can be very overwhelming. We'll take you through step by step by step. A very good question. This is why you really got to have a good instructor. And your parents need to do their part. If your mom and dad don't take you out, then you won't get your hours. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. I'm going over class stuff right now. Don't you love it? And then I'm going to test you. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. That's an hour and a half per week. Let's use Dean as an example. Let's pretend Dean's mom is tired. His dad gets home late. Dean is never going to get his hours in 3 months. Your parents need to be willing to take you out. What's up, A? How you doing? State certified driving instructor. So your parents have to be willing to invest time in you. And if they don't want to drive with you, you won't learn. Beginning drivers have a difficult time judging speed and distance. What does this mean? Melinda, you're going to pull out in front of a car and scare mom and dad. Don't scare your parent. Your parents need to tell you what to do step by step by step. Right, Grace? Right. Because you don't know how to drive yet. You haven't been on a turnpike. You haven't been on a roundabout. You haven't been on a one-way street in a downtown area. So if your parents don't do their part, you're going to be 18, 19, 21, 25, 27, and not know how to drive. What do you do when you are going a little fast and then the light turns yellow? It depends on how close you are to the light. If you can't stop safely, you proceed with caution. But you still could get hit and it'll be your fault and you'll get a ticket. Oh. But if you get comfortable running yellow lights, you won't think it's dangerous and you're going to be desensitized. If you have good speed control, you won't run yellow lights because the lights are timed. So it's really important that your instructor teaches you good speed control. What is the main cause of getting into accidents? Beginning drivers run into things they don't see. My mom and dad are from the South, Alabama and Georgia. You run into things you don't see. A car in front of you, a kid in the street. You make a right turn, but you don't look left. You pull out in front of a car. I had a student do that today, twice. They made a right turn, they didn't look left, and we almost got hit. I had to hit the brake, or we would have got killed. I'll say it again. All of you will pull out in front of a car. Why? Beginning drivers don't judge distance and speed because you don't have experience. So I saved our lives twice today. I'm a lifesaver. But this tells me she is not looking to the left before she makes a right turn. All of you will do that to me and your parent. And if you do that to your parent, no, Paige, I'm not going to drive you. You're too scary. Dad, can you talk to mom? I agree with her. We're just going to wait till you're 18 and then you're going to cry. Real talk. So if you make those crazy mistakes, your parents are done with you. I'm just being real. Some of you want to hear this, some of you don't. New driver questions. Are learner's permits valid in every state or just Michigan? A learner's permit is valid in all 50 states. If we were in Hawaii, that's part of the United States. We can drive anywhere in the United States. Driving question. How will I improve my perception? You have to do this by getting on the road, by driving, by going through roundabouts, by going and making left turns and right turns. Again, if your parents are just driving you straight, you won't learn how to drive because they're scared to make right turns with you and left turns because you go into the turn too fast. You don't look to the left. You almost get hit. So your parents won't drive with you. And then they're going to scream at you, I told you to stop! Right, Graham? Because you scared them, Journey, Cody, Samantha, Shaquavia, David, you scared them. So if you do something out of pocket, they're done. And if your mom and dad are very nervous, I guess you're going to be driving with your uncle or your auntie. Do all cars have airbags? Most cars do. Most modern cars, 2010, 29, 2009, 2008, most modern cars do have airbags. Have I ever got rear-ended? A lady did rear-end the driver's head car because she wasn't paying attention. And it's her fault. Because people don't pay attention. They're on their phone. They're putting on makeup. They're looking to see how many likes they have. They're looking at their cat video. Do you need a chauffeur's license to be an Uber driver? No, I don't think so. I have a chauffeur's license. I'm not an Uber driver. I don't think so. But I think you have to at least be 16 or 18 and have insurance. And you're not really making money because you're going to pay Uber some of the money. And if you make too much money, you're going to have to pay taxes. Because my daughter does DoorDash. After about $2,000, you're going to get a 1099. Yeah. So it's good to hustle. DoorDash. I went with her a few times. The girl can drive. She made about $140 in 3 hours. Deuces. But you're using your own gas. And if you get into an accident of delivering food, that's you. Uber's not going to pay your deductible. I got into an accident, Uber. Are you going to pay? You didn't read the fine print. We'll look at the contract another day. So you're not really making money. My son did it this weekend. I don't know how much he made. What is the best way to learn where the cars are around you and being aware? Check your mirrors. Have your mirrors properly adjusted. Look around. Be aware, if you're in the downtown area, more pedestrians, more cars. If you're in a country area, deer, soft shoulder. If you're in a suburban area, you have cars pulling out, little kids. If you're in a neighborhood, every area has different dangers. I like your questions because you are starting to visualize about driving. Our objective is new drivers. I'm a state certified driving instructor. What do you think is the hardest thing about driving? All of you make it too hard. You don't listen to your instructor. You think you know how to drive. You run red lights. You don't look where you're going. You oversteer. You understeer. You go too fast. You go too slow. You get scared at a night drive. You get scared at a morning drive. You play video games all night, but you're terrible. You're not ranked like I was. And then you're tired in the morning. You're on medication, but you stopped taking it for attention deficit disorder. We had a training in that. So you don't have your focusing medication. Now you're all over the road. Or you had a fight with your parent, and then you bring that into the car. So it's a lot of things that all of you as beginning drivers do. How do you know what the speed limit is if there's no sign? You will have a sign. Most roads have signs in the United States of a speed limit. How often are you supposed to check your mirrors? Every 10 to 15 seconds. I'm in the hood, bro. I'm in the United States. How do you know who has the right of way at a roundabout? The car in the roundabout has the right of way. The car in the roundabout has the right of way. You have to yield if you're going into the roundabout for the car in the roundabout. When should I have the assignments done if I didn't finish them? You need to finish them immediately and to take a picture and send it to me. What do you do if your car breaks down? You get over to the side of the road. You turn on your four-way flashers. You call your mom or dad, or you call a tow truck company. I'm not endorsing AAA, but they have a package. I think it's for $100 a year. You get a 25-mile tow. If you pay a little bit more, it's 100 miles. It saved me a couple times. What do you do if your car is sliding due to ice? Reduce your speed. Drive slower. Don't hit the brakes. Don't panic and overturn. Driving in America is hard. It's different. What is the most common mistake student drivers make? They don't look where they're going. They run into things. They turn too wide. They go too slow. They hug the right. They hug the left. They panic when merging on the expressway. Just to name a few. I appreciate it. Hold on. Thank you.